يا راغبا في كل علم نافع.
ينمو العلم ويتقدم بتقنياته ومجالاته، ومعه نطور أدواتنا في تقديم العلم الشرعي. أكاديمية
زاد أكاديمية ينبوعها صاف ليروي غلة الظمآن. هذا كتاب الله روح قلوبنا، خير الدروس تعلم القرآن. بشرى لنا زاد أكاديمية للعلم كالأزهار في البستان.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه والتابعين لهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. In the name of Allah, the compassionate, the merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Almighty, subhanahu wa ta'ala. And may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon His Prophet Muhammad, his family, his companions, and all of his followers until the day of resurrection. I welcome you to this new episode of the Tafsir series at Zad Academy. And we are coming to the benefits and what we can learn from the ayahs of Surah Al-Fajr from 1 to 17, where we learn the following. First, in the verse, the likes of which had never been created in the land. التي لم يخلق مثلها في البلاد. We can see that human beings may be described as creating something. Yes, لم يخلق مثلها في البلاد. So this was creation of a human beings. But of course, it is not like the creation of Allah Azza wa Jalla. So there's a difference between the two kinds of creations. Of course, this expression came in the hadith where the Prophet ﷺ said regarding the image makers, يُقَالُ لَهُمْ أَحْيُوا مَا خَلَقْتُمْ. It will be said to them, give life to what you have created. This hadith was narrated by Al-Bukhari and Muslim, meaning what you actually did make in this life. But of course, in the hereafter, the creation of in this dunya and the hereafter as well, Allah Azza wa Jal is creating something to begin with, without any prior example, without He is creating it from nothing, bringing it into existence after it did not exist. Whereas the act of creating that is attributed to someone of the humans or the jinn is basically created simply, it's only altering or changing something that is already existing. So that is a difference between the two. Secondly, Allah Azza wa Jal swears by the night, وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَسْرَ, and by the night which when it passes, because of the acts of worship. Allah swears by the night because there are acts of worship in the night, like Salatul Maghrib, Salatul Isha, Qiyamul Layl, Salatul Witr, and of course the dua at the last part of the night, as in the hadith where the Prophet ﷺ said Allah comes down every night at the last third of the night to the first heaven, and he would say, من يسألني فأعطيه من يدعوني فأستجيب له من يستغفرني فأغفر له. So that is every night Allah Azza wa Jal will descend to the third part of the night, to the lowest heaven, meaning close to us, and He would say, who will ask of me, I may give him. Who will call upon me, I may respond to him. Who will ask me for forgiveness, that I may forgive him. This hadith was narrated by Al-Bukhari and Muslim. So thirdly, this ummah will never be destroyed by that which previous nations were destroyed, but it may be destroyed by Allah Azza wa Jal by causing their conflict to occur among them, and so there will be wars, enmity, turmoil among them. That's why we didn't see a massive punishment like destroying everyone, like what happened to the people of Ad, the people of Thamud, the people of Fir'aun, and so on. However, there will be turmoil, there will be wars, there will be enmity among the nations, and therefore we should be aware of that and avoid turmoil and division. So whether this is being visible or hidden, in order to avoid the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Coming to the activities in this surah, write a hadith under each of the following headings. What was narrated by about Surah Al-Fajr? Remember, we talked about Surah Al-Fajr and what happened to Mu'adh radiallahu anhu, and the man who came with him, but he prolonged his salah, and this man separated himself, went out from the salah and prayed on his own and left, and the Prophet ﷺ came to him. So that is the hadith, and you should go back to it and write it down. And the virtues of the 10 nights. Remember, ما من أيام العمل الصالح فيهن أحب إلى الله من هذه العشر, or ما من أيام أفضل من هذه العشر. So you can always go back to these ahadith. The virtues of the last third of the night. Remember, Allah Azza wa Jal will descend to the first heaven, to the lowest heaven, and He will ask the last third part of the night every night, and He will say, هل من سائل فأعطيه هل من مستغفر فأغفر له هل من داع فأستجيب له. So is there anyone who's asking for forgiveness, asking for anything? I will give him. Calling upon me, I will respond to him. So all of this is there, and you have to write down the hadith as it is in the text. Explain the meaning of the following words: perception or hijr. Or hijr meaning reason or aql, things that control a person, prevents a person from committing something unreasonable, bad, of harm, and so on. Iram, we talked about Iram, and we said this is a type of the nation of Ad, a tribe from the nation of Ad, who had lofty pillars, meaning that they built big buildings, tall buildings that they did in the and they carved their this is Thamud. So they carved their dwellings in such a big and high, lofty places. Who carved out the rocks? These are the people of Thamud who carved their dwellings in the mountains and inside the rocks. So they had this big power and ability to create all these things. Then thirdly, compare the description of Allah Azza wa Jal, who gives that Allah Azza wa Jal gives of the people who built great civilization in the past, and how they were destroyed, and how people are so impressed nowadays by great modern civilizations. Of course, even if they have this power, still this is the power of human beings. It's still limited, and if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decides to destroy them, He will destroy them by various means. Yes, they may not be a massive punishment, but they will be, as we said, turmoil, enmity, and wars, and so on. We can see that. We can see that this is widespread in today's world, where enmity, wars are going on, of course, since the earlier part of history, but it will continue to be so. So no one should be deceived by the fact that they are having these great inventions and modern technology and so on, because Allah Azza wa Jal has the power over everything, and He decides how things will be and when this life will end and will come to an end, and how He deals with everything. Now, coming to the last part of the Surah Al-Fajr, Allah Azza wa Jal says the following: فأما الإنسان إذا ما ابتلاه ربه فأكرمه ونعمه فيقول ربي أكرمن وأما إذا ما ابتلاه فقدر عليه رزقه فيقول ربي أهانن كلا بل لا تكرمون اليتيم ولا تحاضون على طعام المسكين وتأكلون التراث أكلا لما وتحبون المال حبا جما كلا إذا دكت الأرض دكا دكا وجاء ربك والملك صفا صفا وجيء يومئذ بجهنم يومئذ يتذكر الإنسان وأنى له الذكرى. Of course, these ayahs may not be explained in this part all, but we'll get some of them. Allah Azza wa Jal says the meaning of which, as for man, when his Lord tries him and thus is generous to him and favors him, he says, my Lord has honored me. But when he tries him and restricts his provision, he says, my Lord has humiliated me. No, but you do not honor the orphan and you do not encourage one another to feed the poor, and you consume inheritance, devouring it altogether, and you love wealth with immense love. وَتُحِبُّونَ الْمَالَ حُبًّا جَمًّا. Here the verses from 15 to 20, and the commentary on that is the following. And as for man, when his Lord tries him and thus is generous to him and favors him, he says, my Lord has honored me. This is a test from Allah Azza wa Jal, maybe with good or ill. So it should, Allah Azza wa Jal test a person or the human being with either good or ill. Allah Azza wa Jal says, وَنَبْلُوكُمْ بِالشَّرِّ وَالْخَيْرِ فِتْنَةً, and we test you with evil and with good as trial. In the previous verse, Allah Azza wa Jal tells about the nature of man, that is ignorant, he is ignorant and wrongdoer, for he thinks that if Allah gives him, it means he is pleased with him, he's honored by Allah Azza wa Jal and is close to him. But when he tries him, meaning put him through trial and restricts his provision, he says, my Lord has humiliated me. Of course, وَأَمَّا إِذَا مَبْتَلَاهُ فَقَدَرَ عَلَيْهِ رِزْقَهُ فَيَقُولُ رَبِّي أَهَانًا. That is, if he tests him with poverty and restricts his provision, he believes this is a humiliation from Allah Azza wa Jal. No, kalla, this is not the case. This is a word of deterrence and rebuke, highlighting that this notion is false. It's not true, because Allah does not base giving bounties and power and blessings in this life based on love. No. Or if he restricts a provision, it doesn't mean he doesn't love or does want to humiliate a person. But you do not honor the orphan. كَلَّا بَلْ لَا تُكْرِمُونَ الْيَتِيمِ. That is, Allah Azza wa Jal honors you. When Allah honors you with blessings, you do not show compassion to the orphan. Those who deserve the honor, the orphans whose hearts have been broken by the loss of their fathers. So you should give them compassion, care for them as they lost their fathers, and that is, an orphan is the one who lost his father. And you do not encourage one another to feed the poor, so you do not urge one another to feed those in need, those who are very poor. And you consume inheritance, devouring it altogether. So you devour inheritances so a person devours his own share and the share of others. And remember, if there's an inheritance that is due to a child, a woman, someone who's weak, for example, cannot get his own inheritance, you devour it. You take it for yourself with your own share. That is, وَتَأْكُلُونَ التُّرَاثَ أَكْلًا لَمَّا, and you love wealth with immense love. وَتُحِبُّونَ الْمَالَ حُبًّا جَمًّا. So you love to accumulate wealth thereof, you are exceedingly fond of it and so much attached to it. So what this means is that you do not understand the meaning of the trial, so you do not try to pass test by honoring the orphans and encouraging one another to feed the poor and to not devour inheritance, and you do not get so much engaged in the love of wealth at the expense of giving duties. So what we can learn from these ayahs is the following: how we see how short-sighted man is, for that he thinks that wealth is and poverty reflects one's status before Allah. That is not the case at all. This doesn't mean that a person given wealth is more beloved by Allah, nor someone is being restricted in provision is humiliated by Allah. That is not the case. Secondly, a person's situation in this life is not indicative of his status before Allah Azza wa Jal. A man may enjoy life in this world, and he would have all the things and all the favors and all the bounties in life, but he is doomed to hellfire. But a man could be so poor and unkempt and disheveled and unwelcome among people, yet when he swear an oath urging Allah Azza wa Jal to do something, he would honor his faith. Allah Azza wa Jal would honor his faith. So it's not a matter of how you look, it's a matter of what you do. Coming to activities, there are two types of trials. Describe them. We said good and ill, good and evil. Secondly, Allah describes the evildoers as having 4 characteristics, speaks about the seriousness of these characteristics, not كلا بل لا تكرمون اليتيم ولا تحاضون على طعام المسكين وتأكلون التراث أكلا لما وتحبون المال حبا جما. So these are the 4 characteristics: not honoring the orphan, not encouraging one another to feed the poor, not devouring the inheritances, and loving the wealth so much and being fond of it. Mention 5 things that we learn from the verses quoted above. Well, we can learn so much. There are many, many lessons that we can learn from these verses, and of course the time doesn't allow us to go into that, but please go back and find from what we can learn from these verses in the various sections of the surah. May Allah accept from you your good deeds. May He subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us on the straight path and teach us more of the knowledge of the deen and of His book subhanahu wa ta'ala. Until I see you in the coming episode and the coming series, I leave you with Allah's care and protection. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
يا راغبا في كل علم نافع
ينمو العلم ويتقدم بتقنياته ومجالاته، ومعه نطور أدواتنا في تقديم العلم الشرعي. أكاديمية زاد
أكاديمية ينبوعها صاف ليروي غلة الظمآن. هذا كتاب الله روح قلوبنا، خير الدروس تعلم القرآن. بشرى لنا زاد أكاديمية للعلم كالأزهار في البستان.